Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Mukakwadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Dawah from the Men of Valor Camp here in Greenville, South Carolina, coming back with another video on sincerity and in truth. Lord willing, it can be edifying. It's going to be a video through the spirit of, just news update, war news update. All right, what's going on as far as, these nations. All right, as we know, the Lord mustereth the host of the battle. All right, the Lord is gathering, these nations to form alliances, mainly with Russia, all right, and its allies against America and its allies. But we know, according to prophecy, even America's allies is going to turn on them, turn on this place. But you got some stuff going on. We're going to go through it, go into it through the spirit. Not meant to be a long video. All right, we see the wars and rumors of wars. We see that World War III is coming quickly. All right, the alliances are being formed. All right, and, Russia's not backing down, all right, as according to prophecy. So let's get into it from zerohas.com. It says NATO kicks off massive Baltic drills as Biden affirms U.S. weapons now being used inside Russia. And Russia is now, like the brother Shakan was going into, Russia is now openly considering America as to be an enemy. Right, at first it was like proxy, but now they saying that they're allowing Ukraine to use American missiles, inside Russia, right, to attack Russia. So let's get into it. It says in the shadow of the Russia-Ukraine war, and right next door, NATO has kicked off its massive annual military exercises in the Baltic Sea. Baltic Operations 24 is about to be in full swing, kicking off formally on Friday, and involves over 9,000 personnel and more than 50 ships and 85 aircraft comprising 20 countries. Crucially, NATO's newest admittee, Sweden, is part of the drills as a full member state. The Kremlin is watching closely given the obviously surging regional tensions, which has increasingly seen all of Europe put on a war footing. U.S. military magazine Strike states that it will feature amphibious, gunnery, anti-submarine, air defense, and mine clearance operations, according to a statement from U.S. Sixth Fleet and Naval Striking and Support Forces, NATO or Strike for NATO. Explosive ordnance disposal, unmanned underwater and surface vehicle exercises, and medical response scenarios also are planned. So you got NATO doing some drills over in the Baltic area. You have even its newest member, Sweden, taking part, right? It says to be expected, the exercises are being led to by the country which has from the start dominated NATO's course and strategy, the United States. And this is also fulfilling prophecy, because this is the whore. America is that whore that settles upon the beast, and the beast is NATO and the EU, right? So this is very important news, right? You got to understand who NATO is and its role concerning end time prophecy, right? It says the naval forces Europe, Africa, Sixth Fleet, and commanded by Strike for NATO, headquarters in Oeiras, Portugal, having charge over the operations. There have been a series of similar major drills since January, but this one comes as U.S.-Russia tensions have reached a new height, given the Biden administration's recent green light for Kyiv to use American weapons to strike inside Russian territory. President Biden himself has finally affirmed that essentially, yes, U.S. weapons are now being used against Russian soil. He said this in an interview in so many words, limited to within near Russia's borders. It says, so as parentheses. It says, while in Normandy, France, for D-Day commemoration events. So he's basically, saying, hey, and Russia isn't going to take too kindly to that. And actually, this is what Russia has going on. All right, also from Zero Hedge. All right, it says Russian warships steam for Caribbean as Ukraine tensions go global, right? So they coming, they pulling up over in this area, all right, on this side, this hemisphere. It says, in a show of force, perhaps prompted by President Biden's authorization of Ukrainian strikes inside Russia using U.S. weapons, a group of Russian warships is en route to the Caribbean. A senior U.S. official have told McClarty and the Miami Herald. White House officials alerted members of Congress to the Russian move on Wednesday. The deployment signals Russia's capacity to operate globally while still fully engaged its third year of war in Ukraine. This is about Russia showing that they are still capable of some level of naval power projection, the official said. We should expect more of this activity going forward. In March, Ukraine claimed it had either sunk or disabled a full third of Russia's ships in the Black Sea. CBS News reports that long-range Russian bombers will rendezvous with the ships for combined naval and air maneuvers. So they're doing their own drills, but they're doing it over here. Such exercises are not without precedent. Russia conducted similar combined arms Caribbean maneuvers in 2019 and had a streak of sending ships into the Western Hemisphere at least annually from 2013 to 2020. Following the summer exercises, Russia is expected to engage in a worldwide naval exercise this fall, sources tell CBS. The Pentagon is tracking a handful of ships and support craft that are expected to reach Caribbean waters in the upcoming weeks. U.S. analysts speculate that the flotilla will make port calls in both Cuba and Venezuela. Cuba's likely relishes the opportunity to host the Russian warships. So basically they're over here, and this is in a response of, the NATO drills and whatnot. So everybody's getting ready. Everybody's sharpening their swords, getting ready, all right, as the Lord commanded. So let's get into this. This is Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And the scriptures prophesy about three major world wars that would take place. All right, the first and second one have already come to pass, and it says the third one cometh quickly. And we see already the lines drawn in the sand when it comes to the alliances. All right, it's going to be America and NATO and the EU versus Russia and pretty much BRICS, which BRICS is an economic alliance, but a lot of the economic alliances are also going to be military, just like, with China. All right, they're going to be military alliances, allies as well. Same thing with Iran. They're going to be a guard. And that's biblical prophecy. That's spoken about in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, as we always bring it up. All right, the Lord putting the jaws or the hooks into the jaws of Gog and Magog and, bringing them forward. And the Lord is going to use them to combat America. All right, they're going to take part in the destruction of America, Babylon the Great, as well as NATO's allies, because eventually something's going to happen and NATO is going to turn on America and shoot their arrows, meaning their ICBM thermonuclear missiles that they may have on America. Okay, this is the Lord's judgment. But right now the Lord, has these different proxy wars, wars and rumors of wars going on. All right, for us to watch for and know that we're in those times. So if the third woe cometh quickly, all right, we see. And I've been hearing certain Russian officials say that we're already in World War III. All right, the missiles just haven't flown yet because we know World War III is going to be fought a little different. Let's get that. In Isaiah, the 9th chapter. In verse 5, it says, for every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So you have new technology. All right, the Lord created the smith that bloweth the coals. He created the waster to destroy. Right? Roughly paraphrasing. So the Lord allowed Esau to create this technology and to share it. And now it's going to be used in this third world war, Salakia. And America, Babylon the Great, is going to be utterly taken off the face of the earth, man. All right, but Russia's going to play a part of it. All right, Israel is going to get obliterated. Iran is going to be an ally to Russia, as well as Ethiopia, Libya, as well as China, the rest of the BRICS nations, man. All right, so we see, because if you look at World War I and World War II, there were allies and there were, alliances that were created. There was a lot of jumping around and whatnot, but it starts with these small alliances that grow bigger And then when something pops off, all these different nations gets pulled in, and that's what makes it a world war. All right, so that's what we're seeing, and the Lord will get this is bringing them and having them get ready, all right, with these different naval drills and whatnot, all right, tit for tat, so to speak. All right, it's soon it's not going to be drill, soon it's going to be actually combat. So this is Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, and let the weak say, I am strong. So this means that, they're putting all their money into their military efforts. All right, building warships, building missiles, building artillery, training up the men. All right, having these different drills. All right, let the weak say I'm strong. So because America was the big bad bully for a long time, but now you have Russia and China basically standing up and saying, hey, we here too. Verse 11, it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And it says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get ye down, for the press is full, and the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. So that's that Middle East, what they call the Middle East region, the Levant, where the Lord is going to gather all these troops. But right now, you got NATO in the Baltic, you got Russia sending ships all the way and having drills over here in the Caribbean, which is below America, all right, basically in America's backyard, just like a NATO and America have been doing in Russia's backyard. That's the whole purpose of them wanting to, basically supporting Ukraine, because they wanted Ukraine to join NATO to be able to have those missiles and whatnot right on Russia's border. And Russia's like, we're not going for it, So it started off as something small, but now, all right, they're still fighting. All right, there hasn't been any peace, and now Biden has basically come out and said, hey, we've given Ukraine the okay to use missiles that we make over here in America, all right, the top of the line, on Russian territory, and Russia's not going to take too kindly to that. So there is no peace coming. There is no peace talks. There's not going to be any treaties, and this thing will go nuclear, but not before the MOTB is pushed throughout the world. All right, but we see that the Lord is moving on our behalf very much so, and gathering these different alliances, for that day of judgment, because World War III, hey man, we right up on it. And we know it's not gonna take years for it to go nuclear. All right, it's gonna be pretty quickly. All right, so we're gonna continue to watch and see what happens with this. All right, right now they toying with each other. They're flexing their muscles, so to speak, but nobody's backing down. So Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Makakadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Till next time, Shalom.